I've come to this major medical supply distribution hub because the workers here at Owens and Minor have a critical role in this national effort, and it's a critical role that you fulfilled incredibly well, or I wouldn't be here. I would have found someplace else. And thank you for those beautiful hats. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you very much. From the moment this terrible virus reached our shores, each of you has worked relentlessly to get the vital supplies to our healthcare warriors. And they are warriors, aren't they, when you see them going into those hospitals and they're putting the stuff that you deliver, but they're wrapping themselves and the doors are opening and they're going through the doors and they're not even ready to go through those doors. They probably shouldn't. But they can't get there fast enough, and they're running into death just like soldiers run into bullets. In a true sense, I see that with the doctors and the nurses and so many of the people that go into those hospitals. It's incredible to see. It's a beautiful thing to see, but I really call them warriors. We're all warriors. Everyone in our country is a warrior. We have to be, because of what happened, and it should have never happened. It should have been stopped at the source. But each of you has worked relentlessly to get those supplies to our healthcare warriors, and all across the hospitals, and specifically for this plant in New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania. As you know, the pandemic has inflicted profound hardship, especially in the areas that you serve. Within one heartbeat, America grieves for every life and every family, all of those that have been lost, and all over the world. 186 as of this morning, 186 countries. What a horrible shame. And we thank God for the courage of those on the front lines. And you make it possible for them. Just as the men and women of Allentown have done in every generation, I know it well. The workers at this facility have answered the call in America's hour of need. Many of you are working long before dawn, get up and you go to work, and long after midnight. I know your hours. I was talking to your people and your representatives. They say, you wouldn't even, I'm saying, what are the hours? They said, you won't even believe it. I said, but I work those hours too. We all work. We're all working hard. You're driving forklifts, staging pallets, packing, picking, loading, and shipping all sorts of things all over these primarily 3 states. Since February, you have deployed an amazing 1.75 million N95 respirators, and you make them now yourselves. 3.4 million gowns, 80 million gloves, and much more. And on behalf of our nation, I want to thank you because you're making America proud. We really do. We thank you very much. Thank you all. Thank you. To this end, earlier today, I signed an executive order, just signed it, invoking the Defense Production Act to grant new authority to the U.S. International Development Finance Corporation, just a little while on the plane. This federal agency normally invests in economic development projects in other countries. I said, how about investing in our country? We invest in other countries. Globalists, you know what a globalist is? They want the globe to do well, but they don't care about us. Now, we want everybody to do well, but we have to take care of America first. It's got to be America first. And you know what? Other countries say their country first. Why wouldn't they do that? But we didn't do that. We had a bunch of globalists. They didn't know what the hell they were doing. But under my order, it will now also invest in our country, helping to bring vital factories, pharmaceutical producers, and most importantly, jobs back home where they belong. Now, we had the greatest economy in the world. We had the best job numbers we've ever had. We had almost 160 million people working. We were never even close to that. The best unemployment numbers we've ever had. African American, Asian American, Hispanic American had the best job numbers in history, in the history of our country. They never did so well. Best income numbers, best stock market numbers, 401k numbers. The good part is the stock markets, because we know what we're doing. The stock market's ready to move. Never went down like a lot of people said, wow, it's 23, 24,000. It was 29,000. It never went down like people would have assumed, because they know what's happening. They know, smart people, a lot of smart people, they know what's going to happen. We're going to have an amazing next year, one of our best. But we had the greatest year ever, and then we had to turn it off, artificially induced. We had to turn it off. And if we didn't do that, we would have lost 2 million people instead of, whether it's 95,000, 100,000, one is too many, but we would have lost 2 million people, maybe more than that, maybe somewhat less. But think of it, even if it was a little less, multiply what we have by 20 or by 15. Wouldn't be acceptable, wouldn't be sustainable. People would have said, what's going on over here? Multiply as bad as you've seen it. And, you know, you can say what you want about the flu, but I've never lost anybody to the flu that I knew. I mean, I've had people, friends, they have the flu and they're sick, they don't feel good. And you call up, how you doing? You know, 3 days, 2 days, a week later, they're fine. Nobody ever said they died. But I've lost 5 people that I know. 2 people were very good friends of mine. And you call up 2 days later, how are they doing? Sir, they're in a coma. I said, they're in a coma. Now, they were older. I wouldn't say they were in the greatest of health. I wouldn't say their weight was perfect. Not perfect. But they're gone. So it's just a terrible, terrible thing. In my administration, we believe in 2 beautiful rules: buy American and hire American. This afternoon, I also have great news on testing. You know, we've been doing testing at a level that nobody's ever done it before. We cannot get the press to write about it or write fairly about it. And nobody has ever done. We've done double what anyone else. If you add up all of the countries in the world, we've done more testing than all of the countries in the world added up together. Nobody's ever done anything like that. And we have the best tests. We have tests that 2 months ago didn't even exist. Our great companies came up with things, Abbott Laboratories and so many others. They came up with things at Roche. They came up with things that nobody even believes. So we have the best testing in the world. It could be the testing's, frankly, overrated. Maybe it is overrated. But whatever they start yelling, we want more, we want more. You know, they always say, we want more, because they don't want to give you credit. Then we do more, and they say, we want more. But we have the greatest testing in the world. But what we want is we want to get rid of this thing. That's what we want. We want to get rid of this thing. This afternoon, I also have great news on that testing. America has now conducted its 10 millionth test. That's as of yesterday afternoon. 10 million tests we gave. 10 million. And CVS has just committed to establish up to 1,000 new coronavirus testing sites by the end of this month. And the 10 millionth will go up very, very rapidly. And don't forget, we have more cases than anybody in the world. But why? Because we do more testing. When you test, you have a case. When you test, you find something is wrong with people. If we didn't do any testing, we would have very few cases. They don't want to write that. It's common sense. So we test much more, many, many times. South Korea, you hear about? I spoke with the president of South Korea, spoke with many different presidents, prime ministers. They can't believe what we've been able to do on testing. They can't believe what we've been able to do on ventilators. We're sending them ventilators. Other countries, Italy, Spain, other countries, France is having tremendous problems. We're helping them with ventilators. They can't believe the job we're doing. And it's not me, it's the people, all of these people, but it's the people that are doing it, and they have to be given the proper credit for what they've done, because what they did is a miracle. No other country in the world has done what we've done. And they feel very free now to call us because they need help, especially with the ventilators, because that's hard. That's not a cotton swab. That's a very hard thing, very, very hard thing to produce. Joining us today are a few of the workers who have kept our hospitals supplied through this crisis and take part in a great, great rebuilding that's going forward. I say it's the transition to greatness. The transition is the third quarter. The fourth quarter is going to do very well, and next year is going to be through the roof. We have to get your governor of Pennsylvania to start opening up a little bit. You have areas of Pennsylvania that are barely affected, and they want to keep them closed. Can't do that.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.